What's up, everybody? Welcome to Daily Refinement. On Wednesdays, we do a live call on YouTube and talk about daily or easy or simple or things that we're working on for eBay improvements. But we normally do this every single day, Monday through Friday in the Patreon group. So today, if you have an improvement, please put it in the chat and we'll go over it live. And if you want to join the group and Facebook group, the link will be in the description below. So we'll talk about some different ideas today. Maybe let's start with George. George, what are you working on in your eBay business? What can be improved, and what would make your life easier?
Good morning, Chris. I don't know. I've actually just started getting more serious about, getting my listings up, being more consistent. I got I think 15 of them up last night. So that's the first time in probably a month that I've been able to get that full 15 up that I've been my goal, just with the projects that I have going on, it just made it kind of tough. But really everything seems to be moving along. I actually kind of banned myself from my source because I've got so much stock that I haven't gotten to yet. It seems like I kept just adding. Now that I had a system where I was getting my stuff, anything that I bought on auction, I would instead of like I used to just stack everything and then go through it eventually. I now go through it before it even touches my garage, wherever the storage. It doesn't go there until I've actually pictured, inspected, and listed. And that's made it easier.
Can I ask you some follow-up questions?
Yeah.
So when I met you, you were doing like 5 or 10 inconsistently.
Correct.
Now you're doing, or you did 15 yesterday for the first time in a while.
Right.
What did you do to be more serious about it? What is different?
Honestly, what I found that I work better at night. So in the morning, I'm doing my shipping. I do the pool thing. I do my shipping. And usually along there, I'll do a couple things around the house. Yesterday morning I did dishes. So by the time my shipping came along, I had quite a few sales over the weekend, and I kind of got behind. Because I have that break in the middle of the day, it was making it real tough to even focus on getting stuff listed. So, in the middle of the day when I go get my girls from school, came back, finished my shipping, and then just got stuff ready for the afternoon. And then after that, I just sat down and spent probably 5 or 6 hours just listing the entire afternoon. So
love it.
Yeah. It was a nice feeling that I went to bed last night and I've got, all these emails from eBay saying, hey, congratulations, your listing is up.
I wish that I could go to bed thinking I gave my best effort, but I that never happens. I'm always like, man, I was lazy or I wasn't really having fun when I said I was going to be having fun, or like, it's hard to give your maximum best effort. That's like but yeah, you sleep really well and I think maybe part of that might be capping your day. So let's say you decide George at 15 is crushing it for you because you have all those other projects. Then you can go to sleep saying, at least I did my 15. Versus it's open-ended. Like, if you don't have a number, then you never really get done.
Yeah.
And you might just feel crappy. There's a question in the chat that I'm going to ask everyone. What if you have best offer turned on, what percentage of your sales do you think happen from best offer? It's a good question. The only way, go ahead, George.
So that's a good question for me as well. Being that I've got so many items that have such large margins, I've started to, if I get an offer that's not a huge, slap in the face as far as lowball, I'm starting to accept them just because it's not doing me any good sitting in the garage, not getting sold. So if it's an item I paid $5 for and I've got it for sale for $100, and the average sales are 100, 110, 115, I'm going to let it go for $75 just to get it going and on its way, because it seems like I'm sticking to my gun sometimes, and I've got such good margins that it just seems counterintuitive stick to my guns with certain prices, especially when I've got, wiggle room.
Yeah. I wonder what that number is. Like I guess as an example, a counter offer that happens immediately when they're still holding their phone, that's more likely to close, right? So there's software that can auto counter offer, or you could sit by your phone or computer and auto counter offer when it happens. You could do offer to watcher and click that button to auto send that 20% off. And Cheryl was saying she thinks customers want a deal. So even if you have 99% off, maybe they'll ask you for another 0.5% off because they really just want a deal. They don't care what your initial price is. Ashton, do you have some feedback?
I got actually a question.
Okay.
I just had this guy ask me to ship internationally to Portugal,
Yeah.
and I was wondering how do I do that?
Okay, so you can either use the global shipping program and say, sorry, I don't handle any international shipments myself, but I can do it through eBay. Then eBay will charge a fee on top of the shipping, and they'll also collect customs from your customer. Or if you want to ship direct, you can use eBay to ship direct, or you can use a service like Pirate Ship. Anything under 4 pounds will has the option to ship USPS First Class International, which is a terrible service. And it has very, very poor tracking. So you could end up with an item that arrives there or is stolen by the post office, and then you have to eat it. If the package doesn't make it there and you pay for USPS First Class, it's possible it won't make it. But if you figure out how much it is for priority, I don't think I've ever lost an international priority shipment. But you still expose yourself to, they could say it's item not as described, and now you need to pay for an international return.
Oh my, okay.
So, but if you do global shipping program, they'll look inside the box and make sure that it is what you say it is. So they can deny that item not as described claim.
And they were asking how much it would cost the shipping. Is there a way to figure that out like right now?
Yeah. So these are great questions, Ashton. You can go to your listing and put in the correct dimensions and the correct weight on the item.
Okay.
Then scroll down in the middle and change the shipping location to that country.
Oh.
And eBay will tell you what the estimated shipping is for whatever service you have picked. I would do like calculated international shipping.
Okay.
But remember, anything under 4 pounds can go first class.
All right. That's the best one to ship it, right?
I first class is the cheapest way to ship it, but not the best way.
I want the best. I don't want it to be stolen.
Then do priority, USPS priority. But yeah, and again, this starts to really only matter when you're selling expensive stuff. It's really confusing when you sell a $20 item and they pay $40 for shipping.
Right.
But they may really want it, and you can't. That happens every day for me in the global shipping program. But that's a great question. International shipping will give you greater visibility. Also, there's like services like Web Interpret, which Thomas in the group uses. And so they'll post all your items in a different country on that platform for free. And then they basically charge you a fee if it sells on eBay Spain or eBay.
What was that website again?
It's called Web Interpret.
Sounds pretty cool.
So that service will get you the sale on a different platform. It is a bit confusing because if you have 1,000 listings and then they list 1,000 on Spain, 1,000 in the UK, and 1,000 in France, then your listing count will actually show 4,000 listings.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little bit wonky, but your sales will go up for sure if you use Web Interpret. It's just more work to.
Right. I got time. I can fit it in if I really want to.
Yeah. Just something to consider. You're welcome. Let's go with Linda. Linda, good morning. What can you do to improve your store?
Well, I've been pretty consistent at 25 a day still. I think I can do more. I'm kind of like you. When I go to bed at night, I feel like I could do a lot better during that day. But storage is much better. Inventory, I'm still going back and forth on numbers or not numbers, but just consistency, maybe making my time a little bit better. Like do all my listings at one time and all my shipping at one time instead of I kind of bounce all over. It's the only thing I can figure.
What number do you think you'd be satisfied with that you'd go to sleep saying, I did it?
I'd like at least 50 a day.
So 50, you might
By
be like,
myself.
that was
Yeah.
a day. Okay.
Yeah. But I know to grow slowly. So in the next couple of weeks, I want to bump up to 30 and then 35 and we'll see how quick I can do it. But I don't want to jump straight to 50.
Did you, let's see, maybe we can block it off with time too. Actually, it's so unsatisfying as an entrepreneur to block it off by time, but would you be satisfied with X amount of time working on your business and that's do the best you can during that time?
Yeah, I've thought about that. Just, from 7 in the morning to like 3 and then do whatever I want within those hours when I want. It kind of works some days, but like I have an appointment today at noon, so that's going to mess that up. So I have to think about that when I make those appointments or have plans that I can't work then, or I can't go then. That would probably work.
All right. Thank you. I think everyone would benefit from setting a time or a number of listings that they want to do each day, doing it, and then actually being satisfied. Because maybe that's one of the reasons why Matt can enjoy the second half of his day, because he gets X amount done the first half of the day. And why I was saying like you couldn't start your day with drinking and then the second half of your day get X amount done. It would be a lot harder. You want to go ahead, Matt?
Yeah, and for me, it's like I don't have a particular number in mind, right? I just kind of feel like, hey, I did what I could today. I did as much as I possibly could, and I'm comfortable with that. And I don't feel like looking at jeans anymore, so I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. It's just a feeling.
It's great to have that. Maybe it's not a hard stop. Maybe it's your feeling like, you know what, I put in a decent effort in today, and only you know what your effort is. And maybe for some people, that's a 15-hour a day effort before they feel satisfied. And for other people, maybe it's an hour. So whatever you feel internally is what is your internal temperature. And then you get to that level and then you call it a day. Ashton says that eBay has a new tab. Let me see. What is it?
Yeah, it's reports.
Is that new?
Yeah.
Oh, it is new.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Interesting.
Where?
All right. It's in, I don't know if this is new, but this is the first time I have seen it, which is right here, reports. So it looks
I don't
like
have that.
you can download. Well, I didn't have it before right now, so maybe it is right.
No, I mean, I'm on eBay right
you're on
now,
it.
like revising it, and I don't have it.
I see. So I'll have to look at this, and I guess you can look at reports or listings. Oh, interesting. So yeah, it'll give me, let's see, all active listings. I'm scared to download this right now. It might blow up my computer. But that's I'll have to look at that new report and see what it's all about. Hopefully my post on Instagram makes eBay allow us a classic. I doubt it though. They don't really care. Let's go with Christine. Christine, good morning. What are you working on?
Me, Christine, or the other Christine?
You, Christine.
What am I working on? I brought with me all of my photographed clothing, and I'm going to go ahead and list them. I'm keeping things real simple right now because of just some life things going on. I'm not changing anything right now. I'm just trying to keep it simple, working mobile, bringing things to my sister's house, and that's all I can do right now. Not much.
but do you feel sometimes if that's all you can do you feel satisfied with that?
No, I don't. Yesterday I pushed myself to get as much done, photographs and stuff like that, so that I have enough for a couple of days. I was very satisfied with that. Yesterday I was satisfied, but today when I go home, I might not be as satisfied, but that's just about getting used to the circumstance. I mean, that's just about coming, being okay with it. It's more in my head, than, you know, being too hard on myself. Cause that's definitely one thing I do is get too hard on myself.
You know what I was thinking is you need to be a different person. Like, let's say you're a 15 listing a day person, and then you want to get to 30. That's a different person. You've got to get a lot of stuff. You have to have an identity change, because the person that gets 30 a done versus 15 a done is different. You have to be more organized. You have to have more precision. You have to be more focused. You have to be, like George said, and be more serious during the day. Like, if your eBay business was your number one priority, then you would get the pool done after. You would get the dishes done after. And you'd be like, you know what? I'm good. I got my priority done, which is my store. I got money in the bank. Then I'll work on the rest of the stuff. But oftentimes it's the opposite. Like, you put off all the eBay stuff. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, whenever I am at home and working before I started coming to my sissy's house, that I would leave anything housework wise. When I take a break, if I felt like vacuuming the hallway or the living room, then I did it. If I felt like sitting down and have a cup of coffee, then I did it. But I made it like I'm at work, so I can't do housework. I can't do laundry because I'm at work. So it took a little bit of adjusting for me to do that, but because I look at it and I'm like, oh, it needs to be done,
I made a list of things that it's okay. This is kind of extreme maybe, but I was thinking about all the things that I could do at home to make my wife feel better, right? Because it's right now it's there's a lot of stuff to do. So it's kind of like I could take out the trash. These are all things that I probably won't get a thank you for, and she won't even notice. But if she sees it, it might make her life more anxious maybe if she sees it. So it's like, get home. If you don't sit down and just do all these things in a row, it'll take less than an hour. So it's like, take out the trash, dishes, counters, vacuum, anything to do with the bathroom or sinks, make sure those are spotless. Cook or prep meals or plan meals. It's nice to plan something ahead. I'm taking a page out of Darren Hardy's book. I want to do Friday night date night. So Friday night, I want to start planning that ahead, because when it wasn't pandemic, we used to always go do something fun, but doesn't mean at home it can be boring. So might as well plan something fun at home. Then work on communication. I took that Brene Brown thing, like, honey, how you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? If she's feeling a 2, then that day I got to be extra cool. If she's feeling a 10, that day I can be sad, so she can take care of me. So you got to look at the different scale. But if your partner is feeling a 2, you got to be a 20 that day, or it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just thinking the tech really like blew my mind, because he was like saying, I heard this advice that you should write something nice about your spouse down in a book, and then for a whole year, and at the end of the year, give them that book. And then he was saying, if somebody responded, what if you could automate that, like automatic feedback on eBay? So just, write down all these nice things, and the machine will just tell your spouse, awesome communication, A++ spouse today. Would recommend. That would be cool. But it's just that helps, because these are the same things in your eBay store. If you revise listings, you redo some pictures. If your old pictures were bad, you like call another supplier. That means you care about your eBay store. And that's what you do, the things that don't get any thank yous. That's when you really love something or love someone. You just do it. There's not going to be a thank you. There's not going to be any feedback. But if you have lots of suppliers, lots of stuff, you're going to be good. And also, I ordered an alarm clock. So for those of you listening on YouTube, because I want to charge my phone outside of the bedroom. Even if my phone is off and in the bedroom, I think it still distracts me. Trying to improve my sleep if I can. So Darren Hardy does at the end of the day, Friday, he makes date night with his wife, and then Saturday is no work day at all. So, but he does work Sunday, but he has a Saturday no work day at all with his wife or family day. And then so he doesn't work from Friday night till Sunday morning. And it was interesting because Darren Hardy was the founding editor of Success Magazine. And he said that it's really annoying because he used a few examples of Donald Trump, Richard Branson, and Tony Hawk. He's like, these three guys have had more leisure in their life than anyone. And they also have done 100 times more in their life than me. You can do both. You just have to be really, really good. Richard Branson has 51,000 employees in 400 different companies. That's complicated, right? But he still has time to play every day. And he's just hyper focused at work. So if that guy can do 51,000 employees in 400 different companies, and we can all do 30 listings a day and still have time for our families. We're not doing that much that we can't do both. You know, you could be like Matt and he does 30 to 60 listings in half a day. You know, it's important to just realize you have a lot more in you, and you can get it all done. Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to say, I think it's important not to compare.
That's
and
true.
Not to mimic. It's like,
that's true.
Just live your own life. Like it doesn't. Don't just automatically do something because that's what you do. Actually think about it and form an opinion and actually make your own decision and live your own life. You got to take control of it, and I feel like that's just a better way to live in general.
Completely agree, because what I found myself doing was judging myself up against people who have VAs or photographers. And I'm like, I'm never going to get to 50. I'm never going to do it, but I'm a one person show and I want it to be that way until I can until I can't do it anymore, until it gets too much. I want to push it all the way to the end. So I do look and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. He's using a VA. So lighten up on yourself, or they've got a photographer, because since I'm a one person show, it's 15 is hard, and especially if I'm trying to do 15 net, and since I've got this 80% off sale, it's even more difficult because I'm selling a lot of women's clothes, just to get rid of them. But I'm getting real close to just saying, okay, $2 is not worth my time.
So just to give you an idea of how compounding works, if you did net 15 a day from zero, you would have a 5,000 item store at the end of the year. That's how crazy net 15 is, which is, guys, what that means is you sell what you sell plus 15 you list. So if you sell 2 items, you list 17 that day. That's breakneck speed. That's super fast. So net 1 would be already a lot, because, that's like the habit of always doing an extra set at the end of your workout, or, that's intense.
Yeah, Isaiah took some time and broke down some of my numbers for me, and it was like, that's so easy to understand, So I really appreciate that, that he did that a couple of days ago, and it does make my goal in my head more attainable. So I'm really appreciative of Isaiah for doing that.
Love it. Yeah, breaking down numbers is great because then you get an idea of how long does your goal or dream take?
Right now, 34 days. My goal, my goal of what he was working with, 34 days, and I'm on track. Yeah.
That reminds me of the when people think about their retirement number, and they're like, only 6,421 days before I retire, because they know, they kind of have an idea of what they're gonna do, and it's like, oh wow, that's 8.5 years. So then they're like, okay, I gotta do better because I don't want to wait 8.5 years to retire, right? So then, but if you have the, because I think for me, I would need $6,000 a month. If I had $6,000 a month passive, I would not have to work ever again. So that's kind of an idea, but that reminded me of that. Like, how long does your goal take? You had an answer, I mean, I wonder how, if everyone in the group knows how long it would take for them to reach their proverbial goal. Because you can, and that applies to you. That goes back to what Matt was saying. Instead of comparing yourself to other people, you pick a goal. The thing is, if you pick a goal and you don't know how long it's going to take, it's not really a goal. It's kind of like just a dream.
That's why what Isaiah did for me really helped, because I'm a very concrete thinker and learner. So when he broke it all down and I could see it and I could read it and then reread it and go, oh, it just made so much more sense. It's everything you've taught us, but I learned differently than a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Diana's asking to re-explain the net item. So the goal would be to, if you net items, your store would grow by X amount of items per day, no matter what. So if you have a 10 item store and you sell 2 and you want to have a net 1, if you sold 2, you would list 3 that day. If you sold 3, you would list 4 that day. You just list 1 more than, or however many more you want to net that number of listings. And it's a very, very aggressive goal. That's very hard to sustain once your store starts to grow. So I would prefer like a set number, like a 12 a day, 15 a day. That's why I've asked in the chat, what is your listing goal per day? And the listing goal has to be a goal where you hit it and you're actually happy, right? That's important. So I was asking Tech this yesterday. We want to give people tools so that they can hit their goal. So maybe you set a goal that you can easily crush. So Mariah's busy. She's working a job and taking care of family. And sometimes she dozes off when people are talking to her because she's so tired or distracted. That's a real thing. So maybe if she put like, my goal is 5 a day plus my day job for right now. So I can get an idea of what if maybe she does 5 a day for 3 months and she now sells 5 a day and lists 5 a day. And she's like, okay, I got the momentum down. I understand all my numbers. And she's like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and do 30 a day, 6 times this, and have an idea. Or maybe she only has an hour a day realistically. So she does an hour a day, 5 days a week, then multiplies that by 8 when she goes full time to get an idea of what it's like. Although I'll tell you that it's not, that doubling the time you work on your eBay business doesn't double your income. It's usually based on, it's more complicated than that. Let's see. Tito's goal is to make $1,000 a week. So Tito, what I would do to make $1,000 a week is figure out what it takes to make $2,000 a week. Because that plan will give you a workaround for like how to become more efficient. And then some people will say do 10 extra goal, but I feel like that's ridiculous. Because unless you want to do that, because if you want to make $10,000 a week, you probably have to be a different person. You need different strategies. You need different time. You probably need help. Making $10,000 a week by yourself is really hard. But that's some people's goal. Let's see. I'm sorry. Let me finish that last thought, which is set a goal that you can easily hit. So if Mariah's goal is 5 listings a day, but she can easily do 15, then she's never going to miss that goal. So her confidence will start to build because she never misses her goal. Versus if you set a goal and you never hit it, you're kind of telling yourself you're a loser. Like, oh, I say I'm going to do 15, but I never do 15. That's not, that's not a good way to treat yourself. Let's go with Mickey. Mickey, good morning. What are you working on?
Hey, good morning. Working on setting boundaries between the endeavors. Like I've got a new listing that went live, a new real estate listing. Sorry. It went live on Saturday morning. And of course my phone just completely blew up.
Right.
So I'm sitting here yesterday and I'm still getting a lot of notifications and stuff. So I decided, while that's important, I still need to set that boundary and, turn notifications off and get my work done and then address everything. It's, I'm just trying to find that balance still. So, other than that, I transitioned my plastic bins to cardboard boxes, trying to, increase my capacity, which, added 75 pieces per shelving unit. So I've got everything this is the dining room. So other than that, just trying to stay consistent. So
I love it. Yeah, that's a great improvement. Anytime you can get more out of your space, you are being more efficient. And I'm a bin for life person. There are racks for life. There are shelves for life. You got to think about how you want to do your life. And yes, you are juggling multiple projects. And Darren Hardy made one of his fortunes in real estate and was talking about how difficult it is to be a real estate agent because there's so many things you do that do not produce revenue. Versus reselling, almost everything you do produces revenue. Like if you list, no, I'm sorry, not everything. Listing and sourcing produces revenue, and you can do that all day. You still have to get all the other stuff done, but with real estate, sometimes it's not obvious that the ways to improve income in real estate are to find ways to get new listings, and then find ways to close customers on the listings that you have. Those are like the two main things, but there's like 9 million things you can do as a real estate agent that are not related to those two specific things. I was looking at the schedule of a guy that sells 31 homes a day. I'm sorry, 31 homes a month, one home a day. He was doing something like, that's a lot, 90 million a year in sales or something, and 3% of that. And I was looking at his day, and it is entirely talking to people about listing their real estate or closing people who are already interested in. That's it. There's no other part of his day. And that's what that would look like. If you're trying to sell one a day, you wouldn't be driving anywhere. You wouldn't be, it would just be like pure networking to get to that level where you're selling one a day. So if you were, I think in reselling, the number one thing we can all do is improve the quality of listings going into our store. So if you were adjusting the quality of the listing before launching it, picking what items go into your store, that's probably the top two things you could do. Buy the items, make sure the listings are good. Those are the two key things. Everything else is kind of a waste of time. Not a waste of time, but it doesn't make money. See, Nick is saying his team sets the appointments. That's exactly what happens. His appointments are either, do you want to list your home with me or do you want to buy this home? Doing that all day.
Right. He's got staff for sure to do that kind of item. Yeah.
And that's what you would need in reselling. If you wanted to make $1 million a year reselling, you would just be focusing on the most important things. So I don't know, is Karen in the call today? I don't know if Karen is in the call today, but she wanted to outsource the buying part. And I thought it was interesting because I met the founder of BHFO. Her name is Stacy something, and she does $65 million a year. In her eBay business, she does 100% of the buying. So a $65 million business, she still picked every single thing that went into her store. She didn't outsource that part. She outsourced the rest of it. That's all. She picked the items that went into the store, and then that's it. Everybody else does everything else. So that's like very difficult to outsource the buying unless you know exactly what it is that you're getting, and that is interesting. And Ed says that she's nuts to do that, but maybe that's the part that she's a superhero at. She's really, really good at. I mean, obviously she's good at buying, or the store wouldn't be so big. But that's the only thing that she did in her store. So you can set it up so you only do the things that you are best at. Lana, can you chat? Is it Lana or Elena? You are in your car. Let's see if she can chat.
Yes, I'm parked now.
Awesome.
Yes, I can chat.
So what are you working on?
Well, right now I just went and picked up some things from friends. A friend that just had a baby left me a big bag of maternity clothes. So I went by her house and I picked up some maternity clothes. And then I had another lady that contacted me, that's a friend of one of my friends. She's a teacher, and she has a bunch of shoes and stuff that she wanted to get rid of. She said they were like Franco Sartos and like some good brand stuff, Clark's, and that she really rarely wore them if I wanted them, or she was going to take them to Goodwill. And I'm like, of course I want them. So I just went and picked those up, and I took my kids to school, and now I am headed back home in just a minute here to get started listing. So, but one of my big struggles that I'm having right now, last week mainly, because I'm trying to get my store organized. I have my store in my home. I have 3 rooms that I use to store all my stuff, and I have a huge desk pile. This is that was created last year while I was sick. I had anemia for about 6 months. I didn't know what was wrong with me at first, and then my doctor ended up sending me to an oncologist and all stuff, and they finally just figured out I had anemia, and so I had to get 2 blood transfusions, and then it took a couple months for me to start feeling better. But during that time, my husband kept sourcing, and so he was going to Goodwill and sourcing things and not listing, only sourcing. And so now I have this gigantic death pile of things, and my mom was bringing things, my sisters, and everyone was wanting to help me, but no one was listing for me. And I couldn't get the listing done because I was sick and just sleeping all day long. So yeah, this year I've been trying to figure out first how to get it all organized, because everyone just piled it in my big game room. And so I set up shelves. I went to the store and bought a bunch of shelving units, and I set up a bunch of shelves in one bedroom that's like a 15 by 18 size bedroom. And I put shelving units all the way around it. And I put all the, I'm trying to get all the shoes and all of the like purses and bags in that room. And then I have a media room that we don't really use anymore. That's also about that same size room that I have put all the clothing in. And I just ordered from eBay one of those big clothing picture box things. So I can have different stations. I already have 2 picture stations in each of the other rooms, but I want one in each room. So they're kind of different stores. So I've got the shoes and bags in one room. I've got all the clothing in one room. And then in the big game room, I have all my hard goods and toys and anything I retail arbitrage. I wish I was home right now so I could show you guys. It's a monstrosity. I'm like, it's just like, I'm just trying to focus now on doing, I'm not sure what to do, really. I'm not sure if I should just, I haven't been listing really.
I know what you should. I know what you should do. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. You just need the habit of listing more than comes in. That's it.
Okay.
So if your capacity to list, let's say it's 15 a day, then to reverse the habit of getting more stuff than you can list, because a year of that means you can't fix it right away. It's going to take a year of the other direction where you list more than you buy for that list that to go away. So that's going to be the key, is coming to this call with an idea to how to improve your schedule, how to list more, how to keep yourself on track, motivated. That's going to be,
Okay. Yep. I'm setting up a block schedule. I saw your schedule. I was watching a video last night. I saw your schedule that you have right now, where you have your sleep time, your listing times, and time for your family. I'm kind of setting something like that up for me. And I do want to make a big block of my day for listing, which I plan on spending the rest of the day today listing as much as I can. Now, is that bad for my store? To like, what if I could list 100 items today? I'm pretty fast at listing. So what if I could list 100 items? is that bad to go from listing maybe 2 items a day to all of a sudden you're listing 100 items a day?
If you could continue to list 100 items a day, that would be great, but that's unrealistic. So
Right.
you would want to think of a number that you could. eBay works best when it's consistent. So
Okay.
if you could do 15 a day, 7 days a week, and the day that you do 100, maybe you schedule them out.
Okay.
That's something that I haven't quite figured out. Like Mark is like the pioneer in this group for thinking about a listing draft bank. And I haven't thought about like the flow for me. Like, okay, I want to have 20 drafts and I'm listing 1 a day. So maybe I list 2 a day until I have 20 in my drafts. So I can make sure I can keep those going. So on days where you get busy, you still go in and launch it. And then you go back. And especially you mentioned an energy or anemia. And if you have no energy, you can't do eBay.
Right.
And eBay is like an active sport. If you're
Yeah.
if you're not feeling well, you can't do eBay. So that's like some people are blessed with a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm. That's almost like 50% of eBay. If you're in a good mood and you're ready to go do it and you just go do it, that's like most of it. If you don't feel like doing anything, you can't do eBay.
That's right.
So try to take, how do you maintain your health? Probably should be in your schedule to see if you can take care of yourself so that you can continue to go. Because again, 100 a day is really difficult.
Yeah. I've got my daughter. She takes photos for me. So she's 13 and she wanted to make money and stuff. So I pay her an allowance and she does photos for me, 12 photos of each item. And she'll do like 20 photos a day. And we've kind of banked up a bunch of photos over the last week. So I have about probably 140 photos of each item, 12 photos each.
So I'll tell you, that is another form of death pile.
Right.
So what you want, which is good. This is good to talk about because you don't want to have items that are tested but not photographed, items that are photographed but not listed, items that are listed but not put away, items that you've purchased but not done anything with. This is compounding the problem. I would almost go back to just listing 1 at a time all the way through to just get that completion going. And here's another idea from the chat. Julia is saying she put herself on a shopping ban. Usually when you say, I'm not going to buy anymore, those people are the same people as yo-yo dieting people who are like, I'm never going to eat cookies again. That's not true.
Right.
Who doesn't want to eat cookies ever again? That's a horrible life. Just like you need to have a positive relationship with cookies. So you eat an appropriate amount. That's all.
Right.
Like you have to have an appropriate relationship with shopping. As a reseller, 10 to 15% of your business is shopping. You're going to ban that part of it. That's not healthy. You want to have the proper relationship with buying, because if you're buying too much, you're probably using it as retail therapy. And that's because, and that needs to be corrected so that you're not buying to fill an emotional void. You want to fix the emotional void with work. Right. Because that actually works. If you work, you'll feel like $1 million. I don't know. Matt, looks like your eyes perked up.
He likes to go after work and stop at Goodwill because he hates his job. And so that's his retail therapy. He stops at Goodwill on the way home and then he brings stuff home and I'm like, I don't need any more stuff.
Yeah. No, that has to stop. That has to stop.
Up some more stuff.
Yeah, he can't add to your pile. That's he needs to help you. He needs to help you reduce the pile. Yes.
I really need him to help me. I asked him one day, hey, would you be willing to learn to list and stuff? And he was like, I don't know how to do any of that. And he didn't sound too interested.
Yeah. But he can't contribute to the problem.
Yeah, I'll have to cut him off.
Because everyone's contributing to the problem. You have people bringing you things. You know, this is you need the opposite help. You need, hey, you know what? Like as an example, if you're trying to lose weight, you can't have everyone bringing you donuts and cookies, and you can't do that. You're gonna you just get rid of all of it in your house, and on Saturday you have a Sunday. That's how you deal with that. You're gonna have that. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, that reminded me of something when you guys were talking about like retail therapy and trying to like solve your own problems by, doing bad activities.
Yeah.
I think it's important for you to stalk yourself, right? Yeah, just basically stalk yourself. Every time you feel a certain way about something, ask yourself, where'd that come from? Why did I feel that way? You know what I mean?
No, that's a great thought. So think about like, if he wants to go buy something, what's he feeling? Is it because he's tired? Is it because he's hungry? Sometimes is it because he's sad? Or that's what usually causes the behavior that you don't like. But let's go to Robin. She's got a thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you have somebody that's trying to help you, and maybe if you were really sick and it's one of those things that's hard to see, he can't like sit there and rub your back and make it better. But if he's looking for a way to help you, maybe he can like sort and flat lay all of your stuff by category for you.
That's a good thought.
Help you look through everything. And that way, when your daughter goes to photograph or you go to photograph or whatever, it's ready to go, it's prepped. And he's physically touching his treasures and the things that he thought were so cool. Maybe that would help, because honestly, I love prepping my stuff because I'm like, oh, this was so cool. I'm so excited about this again, all over again. You get that thrill of finding things all over again. Yeah. And it would just speed up your process. And you could do it together. Like you could be in the same space together. So that might be nice just for a reconnect.
Mm-hmm. I love that idea. That's really good. I think he would totally jump on that. That's awesome. A great idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic advice, because my wife is always asking how she can help me too. Right? Mm-hmm. So you got to have things set up so that they can actually help you. But like, I don't need help buying things. So you got to set up something so that that's also like, I think a lot of eBay sellers don't know how to ask for help. Everyone needs help. I need help in lots of things. So, But if you don't know how to ask, then people can't help you. But if you know what to ask, then people can kind of cater whatever they can do to help you do what you want to do. Like if somebody in the group says, I need help with my photography setup, probably somebody will take a few minutes out of their day and help you. It's hard to get a community like that to do this. Like, I'll try it. I want to add measurements to my photos. So I need some help with when do you get the ruler out? If you use the reseller ruler, shout out to the resellerruler.com. How do you use that? Do you have it to the side and you quickly put it into the picture, snap it, and then put it back? Do you have an electronic arm that comes down? I don't know. What do you do to get the measurements in your photo? Because this is the part that really matters. How do you do it? We can say, okay, do 15 listings a day, but then what is that? That's a lot of steps. That's like getting 15 items ready, getting the storage space to put it away. Because Lana, I'm afraid of you listing 100 items and then not putting the 100 items away. And now you have 100 items not put away, 100 items photographed over here, more and more people bringing you stuff. You might say, you know what, time out everyone. I need you guys to come help me sort this. All clothing over here, all home goods over here, all toys over there. And then you get one little bin, knock it out, and then come back. Also, Nick is giving great advice too. Only home runs. So maybe only really, really high profit items. Mm-hmm. So $50 profit or more, that will crush your death pile.
Oh yeah.
You can also
like, okay, you want to shop from me? Only the best.
Yeah.
Which
I
is like that's interesting. I never thought of if you had a spouse that had a shopping problem, I don't know how you would fix that. But if you had a spouse with a listing problem, you'd be like, okay, calm down. 15 is enough. Let's go to dinner. You know what I mean? It's the opposite.
Stick 'em
though.
in my
It's like,
draft.
okay, you spent $500 today. We need that money for bills. So yeah, it's that's interesting.
Could I offer you one more thought on managing help?
I know Cheryl wants a spouse with a listing problem. Let's start a
Yeah,
dating
we-
service. If all you do is list and you need someone to help you buy things, you should send me your profile, your bio data is what they would call an Indian matchmaking. Send me your profile, and then I'll match you with somebody who loves the shop and but never lists anything. I don't know if they would want to date you, but that I'll try. Let's see. Teach him to sell similar. Yes, that's important too, because if you can teach someone to sell similar, then they will now start buying better items, because they may not know what they're buying is not even that great. Most of the time when people are like, I have a really good eye, I'm like, okay, show me. You have a really good eye? What is it that you're buying? And most of the time, it's not that great. You don't have a great eye. You just like shopping. Great. That's just you justifying that you think it's cute, or you think it's awesome, or you think it's amazing to go home and play with. But then it doesn't really matter, because there's some really silly things that people buy that don't have any value. I'm sorry, that don't have any inherent value, like sports cards, as an example. You can't feed your family with sports cards. You can't. All you can do is look at a sports card, but it's one of the biggest industries right now. But it has no inherent value, like a pair of clothing you can wear, or a pair of shoes you can wear, a jacket you can put on, coffee mug you can drink coffee out of. But yeah, this is good. This is like we're talking about how to actually get things done. And this is the hard part. Hey, Robin, make a list of things people can help you with. That's great. Here's another personal one for me. I would like to have my wife eat more protein. Don't know how to do that. So that would be something that you do to ask for help, and people can give you some recipes that are baby friendly.
Okay.
Let's see. Any other questions in the chat?
I had a thought.
Annalise says it's on point for her. Yeah, we can. I mean, because everybody knows how to list. You just need to get your emotions right so you can do it consistently. Matt?
Yeah, when you were talking about inherent value, sports cards don't have any inherent value.
I lost your audio.
Can you hear me now?
Can you guys hear Matt? Oh, you can't. Okay. Go ahead. I lost my audio, but they can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. You're saying, some things don't have inherent value. And then you mentioned the mug. I was thinking, think about the very first cup. Like caveman days, right? That had, what did people do before cups? Like that, talk about inherent value. There's a lot of inherent value in the very first cup or mug.
Yes, sir.
And now,
Yep.
Nothing has any value anymore. You spend money on stuff that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Just look on the job sheet that Kaylin sends out.
All right. Hopefully Matt finished his thought, because I can't hear him. So everyone have an awesome day, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.